talking about the storage, and you know, I guess the main topic was awakening your car in the spring. And we were kidding around. We were saying, you know, if you stored your car properly in the fall, our tech session's about 5 minutes long, because there isn't, if you store it properly, you shouldn't have to be servicing every component in the car as soon as you want to drive it again. You know, when you put it away with ethanol, you have to use a fuel stabilizer. We use Sta-Bil. There's dry gas and things like that, but we've had a lot of luck with Sta-Bil. And you know, just make sure the way you would service your car, even though you're not going to drive it all winter, make sure the oil's fresh. Dirty oil sitting in the oil pan is never good. We've seen bearings that are just corroded from the acids and chemicals in the oil. Cooling system, make sure it's got plenty of antifreeze, because I think it was a TR3 one time, it had nothing but water in it, and the thermostat housing was off the head. You know, that's really, we stress that the fall, putting it away, is more important than waking it up, because you're going to have a lot more work to do if you just let it sit kind of worn out after a season of driving.
Well, how long is the store? I mean, how long?
Well, some guys, some guys will put it away in November and they don't get it out till April. I mean, some guys use it all winter long, which is what you know, the ideal situation is when you get a dry road, you know, just take it out. I mean, the more it's used, the better. We do a lot of repairs, and a lot of repairs are because cars weren't used rather than abused. You know, but Ed hit the main points, and just to reiterate, I mean, the oil changes, put in fresh oil before you store it, because the oil holds the contaminants, and those bearings are sitting in those contaminants. And when we do an engine rebuild, not only do we find bearings that are worn, but we'll find bearings that are just corroded from contaminants. So fresh oil before you go in, and why not? For 15 bucks for the oil, fresh oil when you take it out. But the Sta-Bil is an interesting point, because you have to not only put it in the tank, but you need to start the car and get that product throughout the system. Because the fuel that's sitting in your flow pole and the residue that's sitting inside your carburetor, if it isn't treated with that stuff, it's the stuff that's going to turn to gum. And it turns to gum. I mean, it's amazing what that stuff does. It turns to varnish. And then the pistons are closed and your car's so not only does it go in the tank, you got to run it so it gets through the system. And fill the tank as high as you can. So the less surface area in the tank, the less room there is for condensation to form into rust particles. I think fuel and fuel-related items have been just a big problem lately.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue.
Dirty tanks, gummed-up carburetors. I guess maybe you could blame it on the ethanol, but the fuel just doesn't seem to last like it usually does.
6 weeks, they said, for fuel.
Hell of a time to adjust your carbs after ethanol starts.
For the airport,
it's going to get worse.
But yeah, I mean, using the car is the best way. You know, even if it's just getting it out and going around the block, just move the bearing, get the bearings moving, get the seals moving. Although you should use it for longer than a period of time. But you should get it to full operating temperature.
I'm afraid
so that
the next change
the condensation has a chance to burn off the exhaust and burn off the oil.
That's what I'm worried about.
A little bit of, a little bit of ice, or a little bit of snow or ice.
And we were talking about there's those basic things, and then there's one thing that I thought of, everything in the car can get stuck. We don't know why the valve's stuck on that car, but it was clearly because it had been sitting so much, and now that it's been started and run, it seems to have resolved itself when we put the push rods in. But, you should give the car a full tune-up. Even if you did that work, just give it, throw a timing light on it, because maybe the distributor sitting, the mechanical advance could have seized up, and you're not going to have mechanical advance, and then you're wondering why it's not running very well. And check the carbs, sync them, make sure a vacuum line didn't crack or split or something. And it shouldn't take you more than an hour just to kind of go over the car, check your tire pressures. I know Pete wanted to talk about tires a little bit more, and if you haven't checked the date code on your tires in a while, it's always a good thing to make sure, because 7 years can sneak up on you pretty quick.
This sounds really obvious, but don't go out, start your car up for the first time, and go off on a 200-mile trip.
Right.
Which sounds so obvious, but I'm telling you, I've seen it. It's really bad.
Yeah. I don't want to get into tire detail, but in 2 weeks from now, we're having another open house for the local British Motor Club of South Jersey and Positive River Club. And that will be the subject of that tech session, and any and all of you are certainly welcome to come. It's basically going to be what we've done today, but a different topic. So there's a lot to say about tire and tire age, and selling people new tires is the hardest thing to do. They just don't want to buy tires. You know, the guys come in and they got these tires that dry rotted, and he doesn't want to spend money on tires. He wants that wooden steering wheel and that new chrome mirror, but he doesn't want tires.
Those are the original red ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, dry rot.
Just very resistant to buying tires because
I'm
they
going to
look
come up
like
to
they're
that
good.
situation
They're
very
not.
shortly.
1975 red ones? Yeah.
No, he was telling me that he bought them. Apparently, there was a time when Michelin would gather up
I got
orders,
this. I
and when
got
they had enough orders to
Dunlops
do a
with
set of red lines,
original
they
white
did.
tread pattern.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what he told me. I don't know
On my
how long
TR
ago that
tires.
was, but I'm sure it was longer than 7 years.
So I leave mine off the car when I go to a show that judges classic rules. I put my red lines back on. They're all dry rotted. Never want to go faster. 30
This
miles.
7 years is the industry, the discussion of the industry standard when you should replace it. They get dry rotted, and what happens is internally they're breaking apart. You know, and there have been numbers of stories being told of guys, you know, taking their cars out and, you know, having a blowout and then, you know, getting into a terrible accident, and it can be traced back to the age of their car.
Where is it? The date code on the tire?
Yeah, and you know, I'm not prepared, but there is a date code on the tire, and I will have all sorts of literature about it next 2 weeks from now, if you're able to come, and if not, you can call me or email me, and I'll share that information with anyone.
There's a couple of websites that teach how to read the tires online. It'll give you the whole, every code that's on the
It's like
tire.
breaking a Navajo code, but you know.
Yeah.
John Heffron had a question about balancing wire wheels. This is something that we just got a new tire machine a couple of months ago, and we made this adapter so that you can balance the wire wheels on a spline hub. If you just use the cones on a regular machine, you're actually not on the correct locating points. So this was machined, and we put a bushing in the front, and so now you can mount this to the tire machine, and then you mount the wire wheel to this with the correct knockoff, and it's located on the outer lip like it should be. And we've had a really good success with this, balancing some stubborn wire wheels. So
Spin balancing?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's you know, high dynamic balance, and you know, it's been good. I mean, a bent wire wheel is a bent wire wheel. There's only so much you can do. But if it's straight, you can really get them to ride pretty
But
smooth.
almost every time you go to a shop and they tell you your wheel is bent, it's normally not centered.
Yeah.
And the real way you know is every time they do it, they get a different reading. And they think they know what they're doing, and you know, maybe they do know for everything but that.
Well, that's why we had that little device made up, thanks to Ed's talented father. So
It's good to have a guy with a lathe.
yeah.
Even better if somebody knows how to use it.
What's that? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Moss Motors actually, if you have like a TR4, the wire wheels that Moss Motors is selling now, the MSW, they're actually tubeless in the 15-inch. I don't know if that's going to extend to all of their wheels, but we put a set on a Healy 100, and they ran out. They took like almost no weight, straight as an arrow. They're made in India, and a lot of people, I know they used to have some quality control problems, but they're pretty good these days. So you don't have to go all the way up to Dayton to get a nice set of wire wheels. Yeah, that's right.
No, they're not making Jaguars. They're funding the company. Jaguars are still made in England.
The best tools for now.
Is there any club words that need to be disseminated amongst the members here before we wrap things up?
I just learned a technical thing about tires. Speaking of tires, I got new tires put on a set of these mini light, knockoff mini lights. I mean knockoff reproduction mini lights. And those red dots that are on the side of the tire are supposed to be, according to the guy that put them on, lined up with where the valve stem is. I never knew that before.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you.
They say it has to do with they weigh the tire, right?
And when they balanced my wheels, they took almost no weights at all. So if you get tires put on, make sure that they're put on with those dots right over where the...
Is every tire made that way?
Tire.
Yeah, they all have...
I see the point where it's molded, and that creates a high spot and a heavy spot in the tire, and that's supposed to be opposite the valve stem, and that's what it's doing.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any questions or if you have any club information, you take the opportunity here.
Yeah, just basically for our club, here's the sign-in sheet, so if you haven't signed in. GTR will be next Tuesday night at Sunday Tavern, and we're going to, if you saw the email that came out this weekend, we're going to talk about Triumph books again and car books again, since that went so well last time. So if anyone wants to bring a book to discuss that night, whatever, our librarian, will be there?
Yes, I will be there.
The librarian will be there. We actually made 3 purchases for our club of somebody that was selling some books, so getting the library going. Next weekend, there's a couple different things. There's this Fred Simeone, the Best of Britain starts next Saturday, I think at 4 o'clock. And also, there's the big Atlantic City car show, an auction down in Atlantic City. I know a couple of us go to that every year. 1,000 cars there a day to kind of look at them. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Well, what kind of cars?
Everything. It's an auction. Bar cars, muscle cars. I mean, it's amazing. Just to walk in the convention hall and just see 1,000 cars.
Are these show cars or just
These
cars?
cars are being sold. Up for auction. They go up for auction every day.
They have a flea market. They have
Flea market and
vendors
everything.
selling new stuff.
It's at the Atlantic City Convention Center. I know a couple of us.
And breakfast with Bonds, right? Tomorrow. Jonathan's Westchester breakfast tomorrow.
Westchester breakfast is tomorrow.
Yeah. Right there.
I'm not sure if there's.
All right, let's go. I won't bring
It's tomorrow.
That's probably the main things that are
I'll bring
going
my
on.
jacket.
Bob,
I'll bring the Triumph.
membership, I know there's.
We'll take the train.
Yeah, you got something to say? Go ahead.
As membership chair, I want to offer the Ned free membership in January times for the next year. Appreciate the text.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome.
And for anybody here who's not a member of DVT, I've got membership forms in the truck. See me afterwards. Join one of our 183 members. Delaware Valley Triumph.
An award-winning magazine.
An award-winning magazine.
Yes. Okay.
One quick one for Cars and Motorcycles of England. At the GTR this week, we're going to have two guests, 2 Kurts, Kurt Herring and Kurt Rappold. Kurt's from the Jag Club, and Kurt Herring is the guy who's going to help us out with the motorcycles. So we're going to have a meeting for the show to organize some stuff. And by the way, it's only 4 months out.
Can you believe it?
I'm going to be passing out volunteer
I fired it up last weekend.
because we got to get
First time in a
signed
long
up to
time.
volunteer.
Put a box fan in front of it so I can really get it warm.
I just want to say real quick, my name's Patrick Slowey, I'm a new member.
Hey, Patrick.
I live at Fort Dix, and I drive a 73 TR6. So,
Where is it outside?
no, it didn't start this morning.
Can't lengthen.
Well, now you know where to break.
Oh, yeah. Get the oil up to temp, because I haven't fired it up in a long